When people think of World War II tanks, they usually picture the iconic Sherman rolling through Europe like a hot knife through butter. But the real story of US armor? It starts in a place of doubt, underdevelopment, and let's just say, a few tragic design choices. From pre-war tin cans to battlefield dominance, today we're breaking down the evolution of American tanks and what really happened behind the armor. Let's rewind to the 1930s. The US was still riding out the Great Depression, and our military, not exactly a priority. Our armored forces were underfunded, undervalued, and underdeveloped. Most of our doctrine came from World War I, and let me tell you, trench warfare doesn't prepare you for blitzkrieg. The key tanks of that time was the M2 light tank. Its weight, roughly about 10 tons. In armor up to 25 millimeters, its armament was a 30 cal machine gun. Pros, it was fast and easy to transport, but it had cons: weak armor, no real main gun, completely obsolete by 1940. Then the M1 combat car, technically not called a tank due to politics. It was used mainly by the cavalry branches, but it had similar weaknesses to the M2. Think of it as the precursor to the Humvee. The US military didn't even believe in tank-on-tank warfare. The idea was tanks support infantry, not fight other tanks. It was a mistake rooted in outdated thinking, and when war came, we regretted it hard. Fast forward to North Africa, 1942. The US lands in Operation Torch, our first real tank debut in World War II, and we brought the M3 Lee, a tank with a side-mounted 75mm gun that couldn't even rotate fully. It had a 37mm turret on top, giving it that stacked, weird look. It looked more like a war sandwich than a tank. The M3 Lee weighed roughly 30 tons. Its armor, 38 to 51 millimeters. Its armament, a 75mm gun and a sponson, and a 37mm turret gun. Its pros, it was the first US tank with a 75mm gun, giving it decent firepower. Its cons, however, it was a poor design, limited gun traverse, and very tall profile made it very easy to hit. It could take on Italian tanks, sure, but against Rommel's Afrika Korps, it was outclassed. Panzer IVs tore it apart. The desert didn't forgive mistakes. And our armor doctrine got a real-world stress test. It failed, but it forced us to evolve. Enter the M4 Sherman, the tank most associated with the US in World War II. It wasn't the strongest or the most heavily armed, but it was everywhere. Over 49,000 Shermans were built by the end of the war. That's nearly 6 times the number of German Panthers. The US didn't just bring tanks, we brought an army of them. The key aspects of the Sherman: it weighed between 30 to 35 tons. Its armor was 50 to 75 millimeters on the front. An armament comprised of a 75mm or 76mm main gun, along with a turret-mounted 50 cal machine gun. Its pros: it was extremely reliable. It was super easy to maintain in the field. Its modular chassis allowed for endless variants, and it was faster than most German medium tanks. Cons: thin armor compared to Panthers or Tigers. Its tall silhouette still made it an easy target. Early versions were prone to fire when hit, which coined the term Ronson by troops. Here's the thing though, the Sherman was never meant to win duels. It was designed to be used in combined arms. Tanks weren't supposed to charge alone. They worked with infantry, artillery, and air support. In that role, the Sherman excelled. There are so many variants to mention when it comes to the M4 Sherman. My top three favorites are the Sherman Firefly, was a British upgrade with a 17-pounder. It could penetrate a Tiger armor at longer ranges. An M4A3E2, the Jumbo, heavily armored assault variant. The Calliope, rocket launcher Sherman turned into an artillery support platform. Think mounting a big box of fireworks on top of a tank and telling you that that's going to win the war. That's the funny part about the Calliope. The Sherman chassis was so reliable, it became the base for tank destroyers, recovery vehicles, flame tanks, and even amphibious tanks used on D-Day. However, rather than build heavy tanks, the US created a whole new branch of armored vehicle, tank destroyers. Fast, mobile, designed to outmaneuver enemy tanks and strike them from the flanks. Tanks such as the M10 Wolverine with a 3-inch gun, a 76.2 millimeters, armor 38 millimeters. Its pros, it was a simple design and a solid gun for early mid-war. Its cons, however, had an open top. Its weak armor became obsolete by late war. Then you have the M18 Hellcat. Its speed, 55 miles an hour. It's the fastest tracked vehicle of the war. Its gun, 76 millimeters. Its pros, insane speed. Great ambush tool. Its cons, armor barely existed, and it had an open top, which made it vulnerable to artillery and infantry and aircraft. Then the M36 Jackson. Its gun, 90 millimeters. It could penetrate a Panther or a Tiger from the front. Its cons, it was still lightly armored, and open top remained an issue. Tank destroyers worked great in theory. They were fast, aggressive, hunter-killers of the war. But in the real chaos, they often ended up being used like regular tanks, and that got crews killed. Still, the firepower they brought helped plug the gap until heavier tanks arrived. By 1945, the US realized it needed something to go toe-to-toe with the best of the Wehrmacht. Enter the M26 Pershing. The M26 Pershing weighed roughly 41 tons. Its armor, 102 millimeters at the front. A gun, a 90 millimeter Mark III. Pros, strong armor, powerful gun, and good mobility for a heavy tank. Its cons, however, it was late to the war, and its limited numbers, around 2,000 built by the war's end, mean it roughly never saw service. However, in Cologne, a Pershing took out a Panther in one of the most iconic tank duels caught on camera. It was fast, clean, and brutal. The Pershing proved America could build a Tiger killer. We just did it a bit too late. The truth is, Shermans may have lost the tank duels, but they weren't fighting alone. The US war machine was all about teamwork. Infantry cleared out enemy strongpoints, artillery pounded defenses, air power controlled the skies, and tanks kept the spearhead moving. Germany had amazing tanks, but not enough of them, and they broke down constantly. We had decent tanks, but we had a lot of them, and they ran every time. That consistency, that reliability, that's how you win wars. So the next time someone says the Sherman was a death trap, remind them it fought in every major theater. It helped win North Africa, Europe, and the Pacific. It got the job done. And when you add in tank destroyers, the Pershing, and America's insane production numbers, you start to see the full picture. This is Bridges Over History. Like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me in the comments what tank I should cover next. The Soviet T-34, the German Tiger, or maybe the most cursed tank ever, the Bob Simple.